All right. So today's my story is there anything else I want to say about my grandparents? And yes, I was just thinking that my grandparents were extraordinary, and I come from a fascinating background because on one hand is my council grandparents who were wealthy and but lived in Chester. And then on the other half, I have my mother, my maternal grandparents, and well, they were poor. So I had lived in these two worlds as a kid, and uh, all were fascinating. This one here, I didn't like. I don't know my mom's real dad, but I had my grandmother got married later on in life to a man, and he is technically my grandfather, and I know him, Steve Harvin, and I knew of him, and he was a good man too. And my council family, he was just a hard worker, so I learned a lot about like dignity. You know what I mean? Like my grandma on this side, she worked at the hospital, so she worked all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes my uncle would watch me until she got off work, and then she would watch me. So I would see her all the time, get up in her clothes and her hospital outfit. I remember that she would take me over to the hospital and show me off to all her friends, and so like I just know. That's why I like going through the world and seeing all these negative things said about Black people. It goes contrary to what I've lived. You know what I mean? Even in poor, like we had rules and regulations where we take care of each other. So I have this part of me that I know, like when I'm down, like it takes a community. You know what I mean? So you're around people and we all share. Whatever I have, you have. You know what I mean? And that's part of how I learned the wolf pack. But and then on the other half, like it was it was very important for me being named Lonnie the Fifth, that like my whole life I was my great grandfather died a millionaire, and he was a pie, invented pies and moving them around in the tri-state area. And then my grandfather, he died a millionaire too, and he was like into property and landscaping, all that type of stuff. But and then my dad, he took me all over. Like I told you, I grew up on Jersey, Chester, Utah, Montana, Alaska. I've been all and driving all through these places, not just flying. So I'm visiting all these places I've seen in the whole United States. So as a kid, the name Lonnie in my head, like I always worried about like what Lonnie am I gonna be. So spending time with my grandfather, he was like a real, my grandfather is not like, he's simple, you know what I mean? I know that sounds ridiculous, and I kind of like it like that. Like he was just simple. Like I'm gonna go to work, and then I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna spend time cooking and spend time with my wife, and then I'm gonna go watch a little bit of TV. Then I'm gonna go upstairs, go to sleep. I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna go to work in the morning again. And I'm gonna do this, and that's how he was. Like even till he was 93, and I pulled up on him in Chester, and he was working. He was working at 93, like, you know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? Like I have like this part of me that has to do all this stuff, but then there's that part of me too that like just, keep it simple, just working. You know what I mean? I don't want to work to the point like I get why he worked, you know what I mean? It made him feel good to like get up, and he probably lived longer because of it, you know what I mean? He had enough money where he didn't need to, but that's what he liked to do. So, I never was like, I always thought that was very admirable. And then I was saying my grandma, my council grandma came to visit in Alaska, and my other grandma came, and she lived there in the home, and she lived at my house. But my grandma came to visit in Alaska, and when she got up there, the first day, we went to, I wanted to go see Do the Right Thing, so we went down to the Fourth Avenue Theater when it was a movie theater, and she sat and took me and my sister. We sat and watched it, and my grandma liked it so much. When we got up and left, she went to the lady who's cleaning up, and she was like, is there any pamphlets on this? I really like this movie. And I was like, what? and, she was telling me that in her time, that after a show, there would always be like information after it. Like, wow, for real. And so like, and then she took us home, and then the next day I had to go to school, so she was here by herself. And while she was by herself, I don't know, this is all before like phones and all this, but she must have had a friend, and she found out where her friend lived. She found out the bus routes. She got on the bus. She rode all the way to the other side of the city. They visited for a while, and I came home from school and she still wasn't back yet. She was still out there, and then after dinner she still wasn't back yet. I think it was a male dude too. I really do think it was a dude, because she didn't tell me nothing about it. And then later on the night, she just strolled back, and it was an Alaska dog on a bus route. Like, it was hard for me as a little kid. I rode the bus, so I know how the schedules are, and they're crazy. My grandma just got up on it, and she was just moving. You know what I mean? So that always like. That always to me signifies how my family is. Like, like, you can't even like really describe it. Just, you're expected to do what you got to do when you got to do it. You know what I mean? And I'm really trying to rethink that, because like, you shouldn't have to just do things for to be like amazing. You should be amazing just because you're alive. But it is amazing, these things that my family have done, and really it's like not a big deal in my family. Like, when you do great things, it's just, that's what like if Superman had like whatever he does when he goes home, like no one makes a big, what would you do? Oh, I just saved the planet. Like, oh, okay, would you like some chili? And then that's how it is. Like, what do you mean I just saved the planet? But that's, in this family, that's not a big deal. So like, and even like no one really even questioned it. Like, they're like, what did she do? But I think that she had a male friend out there that she was